Hi everyone, I'm Jane from the Business of Food, and every week we're bringing you these little lunch bites from people that we take our advice and guidance from, and we put our clients in touch with. So we've covered off some of those. Who have we had? We've had Melissa from Bonbo, we've had Marav from Webby Web Design, and we will continue to bring experts in their fields over the couple of weeks that we've got left. But today, I'm really happy to welcome Agatha from Emporia Marketing. So Agatha walked into my kitchen incubator one day and just said, "Hi, I'm Agatha. I'd like to help you with your clients." And I've gone, "Okay." And she proceeded to tell me how much experience she'd had and what her passion was all about food. And so ever since then, Agatha's been one of the core referral partners that we use for our clients and a great source of marketing information for us and our other contacts. So thanks for making the time, Agatha.
Thanks for having me, Jane. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. Hi, everybody.
Would you like to start by introducing yourself and introducing Emporia Marketing?
Yeah. Hi, so I'm Agatha from Emporia Marketing. So I began about, it's going to be on 3.5 years now, almost 4 years, began my business. And I guess a step back from beginning it was that I really saw the need to be able to help small business. So my background's basically in corporate. So having spent that 20 years, building a career, I never sort of thought that I would basically be a consultant, but having stepped out of the corporate world and then having worked in small business for a couple of years directly for one business, it really shone the light on the need for people to have assistance and the guidance and from startup all the way to middle sort of size businesses really need help. And I sort of thought, well, I could give this a go, and basically have never turned back. So that's sort of how it began. And, the ethos to my business is basically that I, want to be guiding businesses to basically maximize, their brand and product awareness in the marketplace with sort of tactical marketing projects that are boutique to each business. So it's really going in, understanding the business, and then developing things that are specific to that business. Because each business is unique, each product to go in as a marketing arm of their sort of business and help them guide them through that. So, where businesses can't afford to bring someone in, I basically come in and assist in that space.
Yeah. Okay. So you've given us a really kind of broad perspective of your background and how the businesses that you like to work with. What made you go out on your own?
I think I saw the opportunity to, one, be my own boss. I've got 3 young kids. So having to juggle them and work, this sort of suited, I guess, my lifestyle, and thought, well, I can, work my, own hours and be able to, get out there and, help people one-on-one. I love people. I'm a real people person, so it really fitted, I think, my character. It was a real big stab in the dark, but I just absolutely love the thrill of being challenged, I think, and having that whole, because when you're working in one business, you're in one category, one product, but this is the opposite. It's delving into many businesses, many products, many categories, and I love it. So, yeah.
I imagine it's kind of like working in a large food industry, in the large food organization, you might actually work on like 10 or 15 different products and, you know, get those out there all the time and look at the marketing for each of those. But when you've got 10 or 15 small businesses in your customer list, then you've got each one will bring its own little challenges and its own reason for being and its own way of working, which adds to that I don't know, difference, I suppose.
Yeah. And it makes it more interesting. The work is more interesting, it's more dynamic, it evolves, it changes. Everyone's in a different sort of product life cycle stage, which I really love, that challenge of being, you know, pushed to, you know, what can we do at the start? What can we do after a couple of years? So yeah, that's what makes it really interesting.
Okay. So talk to us about how you're handling these unusual times of working, as we kind of have chosen to describe it, because you've already said that you've got 3 small children and you've got a business, you've got customers you need to service. But Agatha, you are the most positive minded person I think I know. So how do you keep that positivity and how do you manage those changes?
Yeah, look, it was really tricky at first. Obviously, I had my moments like everybody about 6 weeks ago. But I think I've just really sort of determined, knowing that I've got my basic needs, which is, you know, a roof, food, we're all healthy, we're all safe. And that then guided me to go, okay, if I've got all those needs, then I've just got to now pull it together. Because I think showing resilience myself rubs off on the kids. So if I'm, you know, falling apart, they're going to fall apart. So I've had to just really create, you know, in myself this really positive attitude to one, drive the home life, but two, the school life, and obviously three, the work life. So, you know, it's, you know, just staying on top of everyone and just, you know, managing it all. I think being outside, and that's why I'm outside today, because I wanted to show to everyone, really get outside, get some fresh air, get some sun, get vitamin D, stay well, stay healthy, and then everything else will come. I make a really concerted effort to walk every day, even when it's cold and slightly wet. Just get out, even if it's for 10 minutes, you know, and yeah, just really, you know, focus on well-being.
Yeah. Okay. And how do you expect, how have you seen your clients keep up that positive attitude? Because we did have a conversation about that earlier, yeah?
It's really interesting, you know, trying to, I think, you know, the change in my workload's been dramatic because, you know, I have always had face-to-face meetings, so it's now gone to online, and everything's online now, as everyone knows. But, you know, keeping in touch, and whether that be on the phone, through online meetings, and even in a distance, to drop things off and to check in, is been something that I've been doing. So constantly, you know, even emailing, look, you know, trying to just stay in touch with clients. One of the things I think I'm going to take from this. So clients that I've had in the past, present, and even in the future that I'm looking at, really just touching base and saying, okay, how's things? How are you going? You know, just checking on their well-being, really. And then everything else,
connected, yeah?
yeah, and I'm here if someone needs me, you know, for anything else. So guidance on anything. So yeah, that's how I've sort of tried to show my positivity back on them, is to just keep in touch through those different ways.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
But isolation's really changed a lot of, I think, the focus, you know, for me, for my business, you know, re-looking at things, you know, being more in touch with social media, with online. I'm now just trying to update websites and do things like that, because I think now, you know, that focus is back online now. So
yeah. I think the challenge for a small business in this day and age is actually to be able to still keep in touch with their customers and their contacts, but in a different kind of way that we're usually not used to. Because I know for myself, we're so used to being in front of our clients or running a program in front of a group that connecting with them online is actually a very different animal. But I know that you and I spoke yesterday about some training that you've taken the time to do, right?
Yes, yes. I've taken on a master's in marketing with Mark Riston, which is just amazing. And I just wanted to just quickly chat about that. And I guess it's basically going back to basics, and that's what I think, we're all doing that in some shape or form. And I think for me, it's really looking at marketing in three different ways, and it's looking at it from a diagnostic point of view, from a strategic point of view, and from a tactics point of view. And that's essentially what online learning is all about. And the last 3 weeks, we've been focusing on the diagnostics. And one of the things that I think is really important that everyone really do, because we've got time, is research. And that may be through, you can do research and it doesn't cost any money. So it's secondary research. So it's going online. Spending a few hours on Google just pays in spades. Watching customers, so going in front of your category and just standing there. And I mean, at the moment now, it's probably a little bit hard because it's not, we don't want to be out as much, but when things start to pick up, watch how people are shopping your category, how they're making their decisions, what is it they're looking for. Maybe stop someone and ask them a few questions. So really delving in to research and understanding, your customer. And what they're after, and whether it's at the start of a project or in the middle, or you've established yourself but you want to take it to another level. Research every year is necessary to find those, I guess, insights to help you keep growing.
I think that's a really good point, because I know in the startup phase we concentrate a lot on getting in touch with your customer and asking them questions, and it's all about research in that kind of sense, in finding where your retailers are, and all those kind of things. But I imagine there's a temptation for a growing business to kind of leave that research by the side.
100%. We're, as marketers, and I am so, to blame for this as well, is that we focus on strategy and the tactics. So we just go, right, what's your problem? Okay, you need to do this, this, and this, and then in the next 6 months achieve these things. But it's, hang on a minute, let's really understand what's going on. Because if your insights are wrong, or, you're understanding things in one way, it really impacts your strategy and your tactics. So that's really important to get that right. So every year it's really necessary, and that's why we do a marketing plan every year. So it's, you go back and you actually do, understand, okay, how much share of the pie can I achieve, and it changes year on year, which is why you need to do it year on year.
Yeah, exactly. So once you've done all that research, then obviously it goes into, and it might actually take someone like you to be able to decipher all that data that you've gathered in the research. So once you've gathered, how your customers make decisions about buying from a retail store, sometimes it's really hard to take that next step, and you need a marketer's help to actually pick out the lessons learnt from it. Is that kind of how it works?
So once you gather the data, it's then you need to understand the insights that it brings. So some of the insights that you draw on can actually lead you to going one way or focusing on one particular industry. For example, you're focusing your business on retail, but food service is 10 times the size. So that could be an opportunity that you may not have thought of because of limitations with packaging. Or it may be an opportunity because you can pivot that way and go, okay, I can, make that change. So, you limit yourself to as much as you want, but the opportunities massive if you look at it from a bigger picture perspective.
Yeah. Have you had any of your clients do that pivot and change their core offerings in this last couple of months?
Yeah, I've had a few people, I guess, go right online and make sure that everything is working online. Food retail has had obviously it's been through the roof. They've had food shortages and in all sorts of categories. So it's been a little bit of a challenge as marketers. I think a lot of people are saying no, stop buying. So that's where the change has actually come in, because it's like you can only buy 2 of toilet paper or 2 of this. So in that sense, the mindset has to actually change in that sense. But yeah, I think clients are just having to adjust to this new environment that we're in. So yeah, being online now is fundamental. If you're not
Absolutely.
online, you're not seen. So as Marav explained, a couple of weeks ago, yeah, it's just so important to be online. So yeah,
absolutely. But I imagine people will do that in the tactic stage and really just make that happen rather than market for it first, which is how it normally happens. Yeah.
yes. So some great example, and this is obviously not food, but Dove has sort of repositioned an ad saying, look, we don't care how you wash or what soap you use, just wash your hands. And that is a different form of marketing, where it's just saying, it's not involving that tactical sales end. It's saying, we're as a brand, so it's all about the brand now, wanting to help you be safe. And that's their core essence of what they're trying to say. So, and in turn, you'll remember that Dove said that to you, and then obviously you'll go buy Dove soap. So, yeah, so that's, in a roundabout way.
And I think there'll be a lot of loyalty generated by larger companies when they show their true colours about, whether they're just in it to take what they can from the circumstances, or whether they're showing their human side and, buying in kind of empathy.
Yeah.
So that kind of,
that's one thing that, yeah.
That kind of brings us to the top 5 tips that you would like to offer us. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first one is really as a business to give a special offer. I think now we need to sort of, show customers that we really want to, we're with them on this journey. And so a lot of businesses are giving, special deals or free, delivery, or a pizza shop down the road was offering a free bottle of wine for every pizza bought, which I thought was wonderful. So definitely be conscious about this time and offer, even me in the service space, I've, thought about, how can I be in, offering more for what you get, so it's just that whole value proposition. Mother's Day is coming up, so if there's anything around Mother's Day that you can collaborate with someone on something, definitely, an idea. I need to hold on to this pen so I stop using my hands. Obviously, being online, and we touched on that time and time again before. So, get yourself, online ready, whether it's a store, whether it's, website. Social media is awesome. You got to be active on there. And it's, pivotal to the business and the environment that we're in. We've done this one before too. It's all about brand building. So in these unusual times, we think, oh, we better not, spend too much money. But now is when we really need to be investing in our businesses in other ways that we can help our consumer. And it's really to stand out. So, and I gave that example about Dove. So that's where that is. Having the fourth one is having a clear direction about where you're going as a business. I think supermarkets have really tackled this well, where they've gone, we're going to protect our staff, we're going to protect our customers. So we're going to, they've just changed so quickly and adapted to this environment. And they're a really good example of how we need to behave. So we need to say, where is it that our business, is going, and what are the changes that we need to make to fit into this environment. So be clear on that right now, because things are going to change for a longer time than what we thought before. So got to be ready.
That's actually going to be one of the challenges, I think, of coming out of this, is actually, how do you manage the unknown?
Yeah. So the pain points that we're going to face, in every industry is going to be more difficult. It's going to be more difficult getting out than it was going in. So the exit is going to have a lot of thought behind it. How we protect ourselves, how we social distance, all of those things are going to come into play. The last thing that I want to just let you, Jane, is about clear communication to customers. I've got an example here, and it really resonated with me. There's a pizza shop, another pizza shop further down in the north. We're full of pizza shops, so you can never have enough pizza. On their socials, they advertised, a takeaway meal menu, which I thought great. They had $15 pizzas, they're normally $20. They had all this food. Anyway, I thought, great. So I ring up to order, and it was like, no, these are all frozen meals. You have to pre-order. Just look on our normal menu for ordering take away meals. So there was no clear, communication by the business of what this new offering was. It wasn't packed correctly. So be really, do a customer map of start to end, and make sure that you understand that you've communicated every little bit of what you're trying to say, whether it's on social, whether it's on your website, that people understand. So put your feet in the customer's shoes and make sure that you've had a clear communication on what it is that you're offering.
Yeah. I think that's a basic that you've just pointed out. But putting yourself in your customer's shoes is actually really hard for some people to do, because we come with all these preconceived notions of what we want to sell them. And sometimes it's really hard to distance yourself from your own product.
Yeah. And one of the things in the online learning we were told is to put like a swivel, the other way, and just get yourself, be not the owner of the business, be just a customer. Just go in, shop the category and look at it from another perspective. It's really important, because as marketers we think, oh, we know everything, and we can understand the consumer, but we don't, because straight away we're in a bubble. We bubble ourselves. So you really got to swivel, get out, and get out and speak to people. Get out and get in the supermarkets and really connect with people and understand that their needs are.
Yeah. So, Agatha, I think the theme I've seen come out throughout your whole speech has been about being positive, but empathetic, and understanding, other people are going through the same thing at the moment, and so all of us are in this uncertainty. So there's a time for marketing as brand building and as connecting, but there's a time to put aside the sales end of marketing and just be there, right?
100%. Yeah. And be active, be approachable, be, not reactive. So be prepared. And certainly take this time to really, assess things. We've got, a lot of time now. So, yeah.
We do, don't we? Yeah.
So.
We might wrap it up there, Agatha, because I think that's a really good spot just to, leave everyone with that same message. Thank you for being a part of our connections, but also thank you for giving up your time today to share it with everyone else.
Thank you so much for having me, Jane. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you.
Okay.
See you everyone.
Yeah. Next week, I'm hoping that we can get Claire from Blade Creative on the line to give us some direction about, branding and planning and strategy around her expertise. But thank you everyone for making it a priority of yours to connect with us and our other referral partners. We'll see you next week.